Hello, welcome. Let's have the introduction into the coordinate geometry one, which is the geometry of the straight line. In the olden days, pirates normally hide treasures that they come back for 1, 2, 3, or sometimes in decades after. How are they able to locate where they buried their treasures? That comes into the use or the importance of coordinate. They use the coordinate. They mark a specific place. They walk some distance, let's say 500 space to the west. Then they walk again 300 or 200 space to the north. With that kind of measurement, taking their direction from, let's say, the west side, walking 400 spaces to the east, then walking 300 spaces to the north, they can be able to locate where they place their treasure. That is coordinate. So the coordinate is only talking about the address of a point. Let's just say, if I ask for your coordinate, I'm asking for your address. Where are you specifically? Give me the coordinate of your destination. I can be able to follow that. So basically, the coordinate geometry, first one, which is the geometry of the straight line, is basically dealing with Cartesian plane. What are some of the things we can look for? We are looking for the distance between two places. How far is one distance from the other? Or in a better still, when you are in the traffic and you book an Uber, your destination is just right in front of you. You know that this is just the distance I can pass. But because of traffic, the map is also based on coordinates. The map can also give you direction that you can bypass the congestion so that you can get back to the same destination. What are they looking for? They are picking some coordinate. Even though they are moving far away from a distance, they will still come back to the same position. A point. That point is what we are trying to locate. So in this visualization, we are going to use what we call Cartesian plane. And in the Cartesian plane, we have what they call coordinate plane. So let's have that. So this is our Cartesian plane, which divide the space into two-dimensional space, or two-dimensional space, or two-dimensional shapes that help us to be able to identify a point or a position. Now we have two axes. The vertical axis is called the y-axis. Then the horizontal axis is called the x-axis. Now, this axis divide the plane into what they call four quadrants. We have the first quadrant, we are moving in the anti-clockwise direction. The second quadrant, the third quadrant, and the fourth quadrant. Now, the point of intersection of these two axes is what we call the origin. So the origin, let me just write the origin. Then, if you talk of the origin, we are looking for the point of intersection where the movement will start from. Just like when the pirates buried the treasure, it starts from somewhere and move to the west or to the east. The point of intersection where he is going to start the journey from the neutral point, that is the origin, which is making 0, 0. How do we locate that? The points are located on the x-axis and the y-axis. They are point of intersection. We can see that if you look at the movement, I have 1, 2, -1, -2, -1, -2, 1, 2, where they start from the origin, meaning this is going to be 0, 1, 0, -1, 0, -1, and 0, 1. That point of intersection of the two lines give us the origin. That is where we begin from. Now, how do we identify the point at the coordinate? We identify the first point is on the x-axis, then the second point is on the y-axis. So no matter the point, if I mention a figure or a value, I am referring to first the x-axis, before the y-axis. So the x-axis can also be labeled as the abscissa. Then the y-axis can also be labeled as the ordinate. Okay. Now, if I am picking a point, the point in each quadrant give me a different direction. Let me just pick a point right away from here. Let's say I have a point here. Let's just say this is where your house is. If this is going to be on the map, we are taking this as the origin. I want to move to your house. So this is the direction. That is where you are from the origin. Now this point can be described as moving 3 units to the east, or this to the right. If I'm here, this is the east, right? I am moving 3 units. If all these demarcations are the same, I am moving 3 units. 1, 2, 3 units to the east. Then from there, I am moving 2 units to the north. So if I am giving you a direction, move 3 units to the east from the junction where you are. Move 3 units to the east. Then from east, move 2 units to the north. That is using the coordinate as an address. But as our Cartesian plane, I am going to move 3 units to the right of the x-axis. Then I am moving 2 units upward. Upward on what? The y-axis. So this is going to mean that if I have the point 3 and I have the point 2, this 3, 2 describe the position. So this is the point A. If I am to put A here, the point A can be described as 3 on the x-axis, then 2 on the y-axis. How do we locate that? We move positive. That is what? If you are moving to the right on the x-axis, you are moving on the positive tangent. Then if you are moving upward on the y-axis, you are also moving on the positive tangent. I guess that concept is clear. Now, let's imagine somebody is in the second quadrant. I want to locate the point. Let me just put a point here. I am still taking the origin as the reference point. So I am here. How am I going to locate this point? Using the coordinate. Alright. I am going to move how many units? I am moving 1 unit on the x-axis. In this case, I am moving to the west. Then I will move up, which is the north. So let's look at the plane. I am moving to the left on the x-axis and still moving up. The movement up is positive. Then movement left will become negative. As you can see, the left side of the x-axis is negative. So the point here can be located as -1 and 2. -1 on the x-axis, which is the first axis. Then 2 on the y-axis. So that's basically how we can locate a point. So here, I have my positive, positive, negative, positive. Let's take the third quadrant. Let me pick a point somewhere here. So let me label here point B, and this becomes point C, right? I want to locate the point C using the coordinate, meaning I am taking the origin as the reference point. So I am moving how many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units to the left. You see that I am not considering the negative side. As I am moving, I am just moving the space, the distance. So I am moving 4 units to the left, then 3 units down. Left on the x-axis, then down on the y-axis. So the point is going to mean I am picking 4 units to the left will be -4. Then 3 units downwards is also going to be -3. So on the third quadrant, you can see both axes are negative. Then let's look at the last one. Let's pick a point somewhere here. Point D. What am I going to move from the origin? I am moving 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 units on the x-axis, meaning 5 units right. Then 1 unit down. Right on the x-axis, positive. Left on the x-axis, negative. upward. On the y-axis, positive, then downward, negative. That will give me the point 5 and -1. So if you want to identify, you can see that I have x, y, both being positive in the first quadrant, then -x, +y in the second quadrant, then here will be -x, -y on the third quadrant, and x, -y on the fourth quadrant. You can see the negative sign are alternating. Positive, positive, x is taking negative, y is positive. X is positive, y is negative. Both are negative, both are positive. So this is how we identify the point on the Cartesian plane. Any point at all can be located on the Cartesian plane, taking into consideration the origin, knowing very well that every point that you are picking, you are moving either on the x-axis, is always the x-axis first before the y-axis. So I am moving towards the east, then I move up, or I am moving towards the east, then I move south. So if I am locating my point, just like the map does when we order Uber, this is what they look at. They look at the coordinate, know where you are, exactly where you are going. But they can be able to move around different routes and come back to the same position. It's just a movement. I am moving some kilometers to the west, moving to the north, come back to the east. You move around, you come back to the same position. That is the beauty of coordinate. So this episode is to introduce us into the coordinate of the Cartesian plane, how we can locate various points on the Cartesian plane. The next episode, we'll be looking at how we can find the distance. The distance. You know, when I mentioned that a house is at A, I want to know the distance that I will travel. If in case I don't want to move for 3 units to the right before moving 2 units to the north, I just want to move straight forward to where the A. What will be the distance? What unit will I move? That will be the next episode. Finding the length or the distance or the magnitude of the length here of this straight line. That will be the next episode. I'm not sure you will miss that for anything. Join us as we continue to delve into this topic series by series or episode by episode. Share with somebody, invite somebody in, let them subscribe for us to have one family and learn together. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.